welcome to Screenwriters Beat, episode 10. Oh wait, I take it back. Episode 9.
Oh, we're nice.
We write, we don't count.
The fake out. Wow.
Yeah.
That's right. We're not mathematicians, people.
At least I'm not. But I do know how to welcome my incredible working panel of screenwriters. Say hello to Eric Ingram.
Hello, Screenwriting World. My name is Eric Ingram, and I write action and comedy.
Woohoo! And we also have Heidi Mastrogiovanni.
Hello, wordsmiths. I write comedy.
I lost that. Oh, there it is. Cool. And Margaret Risley, welcome.
Hello, thank you, and hi everybody. I write thrillers, horrors, romantic comedies. Good combination.
Very good combination. And Nicole Jones-Dion, welcome.
Hello. I guess I write weird fiction. That's a good, nice, broad way to describe what I do.
Cool. And I'm Ann Kimbrough. I write contained thrillers and action. And it's very apropos that we mentioned what we write, because today's episode is about branding. Ooh.
Yep.
Yes. And feel free to really duke this one out, because you know, there's the pros and cons to it, and we'll just jump right in. I mean, to start off with, Nicole, just tell us what does branding mean to you before we say if we're for it or against it.
Right. I think, well, I can tell you what branding is not. It's not necessarily a genre. So genre could be a good starting point to figure out your brand, but you can transcend genre once you figure out what your brand is.
That's cool. I agree. So Eric, so branding can be genre. It could be if you're good at dialogue, right, or good at structure.
No, absolutely. I mean, there's definitely different phases to the screenwriting business world. So, but I think what we're talking about is, what do you want to be known for? If someone says, I need snappy dialogue, you want your name to be top of the list. So whatever it's kind of like, there's genre, because that's just kind of how Hollywood makes it. But there's also, what do you add to the genre that would make your brand special?
Yep.
Good, very good. So I sort of think the market kind of brands you, but you can obviously go out there and promote yourself as a certain kind of writer. Let's do the pros and cons. Heidi, we'll start with you. What do you think?
I feel really strongly about this. I don't see any cons to branding yourself. I mean, if we're talking about marketing, if you want to spend every Thursday doing a writing exercise that is outside of your expertise and your genre, have a great time. But I'm going to quote Hal and Cheryl Krosman from Screenwriting U. They've spoken to enough producers and managers and agents, and everyone comes down on the side of, when you market yourself as an expert in something specific. I write comedy with really smart dialogue, whatever that is for you. It is more useful to business people and creative people if you are specifically marketed as an expert. People want to be in the hands of an expert.
I like that take. Margie, are you for it, against it?
Well, I can see what Heidi's saying, and it's a really great point. I don't want to be pigeonholed into say, I just write horror, or I just write thrillers, or I just write romantic comedies. I write good relationships and good sexual tension and suspense, and no matter what genre you're writing at the time, that's, as Heidi says, that's what you're good at. And if you can brand yourself as doing that, that's a great way to go about it without pigeonholing yourself. But I think as a beginner, it's better to stick to one genre and get yourself established in that and show what you can do within that genre and then branch out.
Mm-hmm. Nicole? I know you felt strongly on this.
Yeah, I would agree with what both of them have said. It's like when you're first starting out, a newbie, dabble in different genres until you figure out what it is that speaks to you, what resonates with you. But at some point, you're going to need to focus in on a genre, become an expert on that genre, and then ironically, then you can kind of branch out again, but at some point, you know, you have to become an expert, like they were saying. It's like, you know, I can't tell you how many meetings I get because I'm the horror girl, but then it's not even a horror project. It ends up turning into a fantasy or an action or adventure, you know, but it might have horrific elements, and they're like, okay, so we know you're the go-to person for that. And don't be afraid to pigeonhole yourself, because you are responsible for your own career. You define who you are. If you don't put yourself in a hole, someone else will. So make sure it's a hole you like to be in.
Cool. Eric, it sounds like we agree. We all agree you need to brand, or you will, right?
We've all been brainwashed. No!
We all agree!
No.
How did that happen?
I think I agree. I piggyback what everyone else is saying, because well, look at it like this. Let's make it personal. Let's say something in your house. Say your toilet is broken. Okay. Are you going to call the plumber who does this day in and day out, or are you going to call a florist or a landscaper? Sometimes it's a plumber. You understand what I'm saying? That's business.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That doesn't mean that you can't write other things. That's what I think what people say. When you hear the word pigeonhole, you're like, oh my God, people are not going to allow me to do what I want to do. That's not true. But people only want to work with the best at something. You have to be the best. I mean, you got to understand there's thousands of people doing this. So if they got they narrow it down to 10 screenwriters who write action, what's going to happen is what's going to set you apart from those 10. That's what's going to happen. So you got to, you know, just get out of the I don't want to be pigeonholed thing. That's not the way it works. You want to be known for something first, and then you have your passion projects come up later.
Well, and to kind of add on to what Eric was saying, it's like, say you get a script into the hands of an agent, manager, or producer, and they're like, okay, we kind of like it, but not really. What else do you have? You're going to want to give them something similar to that script. If that's the only horror script you've written, what are you going to do? Give them a comedy? Well, then they're going to be like, well, what is this? This isn't what I wanted. So it's really good to have at least 2 or 3 scripts that are similar, so that way you can go to market, go to try to find representation, and show that you have this body of work within your brand.
Absolutely.
That's a great point, because they are going to look that you have more than one script in a genre, because don't you constantly get that thing of like, yeah, I love that, but we got something like that. What else you got like it? Right, Heidi?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
All the time.
But that's why you must have 2 or 3 others, and then you must have some concepts locked down too. I mean, it's come on, this is work. This is work. This is not always joyful. It's work. So come on, guys, come on.
Yeah, even if you don't have a completed script ready, if you've got a concept and you've got it, you know, plotted out or whatever, that's something that you can offer, and they'll work with that too.
Right.
Yeah,
treatment. They really like it. Yeah.
One page for treatment for stuff is not a bad idea. How about if you're starting out? How do you find out what you should be branded as, Heidi?
I would say the thing that you enjoy most. As I forget who said, try out a few and see what feels really great, and see what you're excited about, and see what you look forward to doing. For me, it was just easy, because and what movies do I love the most? I love comedies.
Now, right there.
Yeah, that's cool. And Eric, you did stand-up, so was it natural for you to go into?
Right, natural class clown. I tried to write drama. I tried to write a serious drama, and that was just like the most painful experience ever. I was like, this is not me. But it is. I still have emotions, but this is not me. And I tried horror. I'm like, my energy doesn't come from there. It comes from laughs and movement, which is action. So that's how.
Yeah. Nicole, how did you get branded?
Well, I mean, I guess the analogy I would use, and then I'll tell you my story, but the analogy I would use is like you're a freshman in college and you don't know what you want to be when you grow up, right? So you take a bunch of general studies course until you figure out what you want to major in, and then that's what you ultimately are going to hopefully get a career in once you graduate. Now, for me, I did the thing that a lot of newbie writers do. I started out writing period dramas, because those are stories that are already out there, you know, whatever, it's easy. But the thing all my period dramas that no one cared about had in common was everybody died at the end. And I was like, oh, there I go. That's what I write. I write scripts where everybody dies. So it's a natural segue to horror.
Right.
That's cool. And then you can build, obviously, on your brand if you find the genre. I know, Eric, you are great at punching up scripts for humor. And Nicole, you write really fast stuff so people can come to you for that. Margaret, you write some great relationships. You definitely do.
Oh God. Please,
Thank you.
and I'm not just plugging her just because she's here. Please watch her show. Oh my gosh, Heidi, you guys are great. Your show is great. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Heidi's.
Oh my God.
Heidi's comedy.
Yeah, Heidi, yeah.
Yeah, Heidi's show.
Glenn and Verdine. Oh my God. Everyone, please watch it, please.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh my God.
And Margie had this short that I saw recently, Twilight Tango, which was wonderful.
Thank you.
Who filmed that, Margie?
Black Man Productions. It was through Screen Australia. It was an initiative they run every year, and it's quite an honour to be chosen. So that was good. Yeah.
Well, and it was part of your brand. It really was. Does anyone else have something to add? Since we agreed, we don't have to apologize to each other.
No, just discuss.
I just like to say, like, when it comes to, there's so much pressure on everyone to try to. It feels as if they're trying to make you to conform. And there's a thing that Hal says is what is that? Different but unique, or the same but unique, or what's that?
Similar but different.
Similar but different. Right?
Suitable but unique.
If you want to be a rom-com writer, you can't write a rom-com where the people don't meet and the people don't have a cute meet and the people don't have a it's like, why am I going to watch this? Because I've already coming to the theater expecting to see certain things. How those events happen is where your creativity comes in.
Absolutely.
That's a specialty right there. That's where your creativity lies, not in this, I'm going to rewrite the romantic comedy genre. No, you're not. Or if you do it yourself, you're going to pay for it. I mean, you're going to pay for it yourself. But if you're trying to get it to the system, you got to know the rules of that, whatever the genre that is.
Brilliant. Yep, I love that. Well, I think branding is great, and the great takeaway is it's the way you promote yourself.
Yes.
It's you're putting up your shingle.
Yep.
Thank you. I'm glad we agreed. I kind of thought we would, but you kind of hope for a little tension and conflict. That's the screenwriter in me. We're going to move on to show and tell, which is more of a tell and tell. I wanted us to share some of our favorite screenwriter websites, and I will start with Heidi.
On behalf of all of us, I know we all want to mention screenwritingyou.com, which is where we all met.
It is.
And it's the best. It's the best. It is the best. It's the gold. The Pro Series is the gold standard of classes. So run, don't walk.
I'll go the link. But there's just a lot of great information on that website for, especially for people starting out. A lot of great interviews. Well worth a visit. Eric, how about you?
Mine would be, other than Screenwriting You, is gointostory.com. Every time I think I've read every article, I go back and there's like 20 more. I'm like, oh my God, it's a great. Scott Moore, I think he's just great. He keeps up very well. Love it.
That's cool. I agree. Well, I think we're all readers, so I'd love to always. There for a while, I had every book on the subject, so now I just read online. Margie, how about you? What's a great website for you?
Well, I knew everybody would come up with my favourite, so I just recently found something a bit different called the Bitter Script Reader. It's got some great interviews there. Yeah.
That's a good one. They'll check that out. So it's reviews of movies.
No, it's a blog, but he interviews writers, directors. Yeah, it's good.
Great. Perfect. I'll check that out. Yeah. Nicole?
Mine would have to be johnaugust.com. John August is a working screenwriter, and he offers a wealth of advice. He answers questions, does a little Q&A blog. And for people who are aspiring television writers, he actually has put up very generously copies of scripts that he's written, treatments, Bibles. Yeah. It's invaluable. It's an invaluable resource if you're trying to get into television.
I agree. He's very generous also with his information, and I love that about anybody when it comes to screenwriting, but he's a classic. He's been around for a long time. For me, I just recently found a website called Hollywood and Swine, and it's a humorous take, not necessarily always truthful, but on Hollywood industry news. It's funny. It's kind of like an insider thing, and as a screenwriter, you'd love it. You got to check that one out.
And if I can add like a bonus newsletter that everybody should subscribe to is Studio System News, because it tells you what's going on in the industry. And as screenwriters, it's important for us to know more than just our craft, but also the business that we're trying to get into. And Studio System News sends out a little digest every day, kind of encapsulates everything that's going on in the world of film and television. It's great.
They're great. I love them. The Hollywood Reporter, too. I also get theirs. I love to read the headlines. Very, very good advice. All right. So this is the part you love. The question from the audience, which I sometimes just scour. But this one came up recently. It's like once a producer has requested a script, how long should you wait before contacting them again? Eric, how about you? If you pitch something... When do you follow up?
If I pitched him something, if it was if I pitched him an idea or a script and he said send it, if it was a script, I usually give 2 to 3 weeks before I just say just checking up on you, just see how it's going. Any questions, feel free to call me. That's it. And like 2 or 3 weeks, give them a little time. And they're not sitting in their office waiting for your script. Trust me.
Now, is that someone you have a relationship with, or I mean, like someone you've never dealt with before?
Never, even that's everybody. I just kind of 3 weeks just to let them know that it's important to you, but it's just not, you're not desperate. That's another big thing. But you just to keep it like, oh yeah, that's why I did request that script. Okay, maybe I'll move it up on the weekend reads. I mean, you just never know. But just little tidbits. Don't badger them. Don't bug them every day. Don't do that.
Okay, cool. Heidi.
I like that time frame. I would add also another thought is contact them when you have something to share. Like if you've just placed, if you've a semi-finalist in a contest, or if your script got this or that or whatever, share good news, or share information, or share something to continue the dialogue.
Yes, and also if you hear any news that they've had, congratulations. Yeah.
Brilliant. And that's why you need those Studio Systems News and the Hollywood Reporter. Follow up on that. Nicole?
Pretty much exactly what everyone else has said. 2 to 3 week time frame, and when you follow up, do some value add in the email. Another thing I like to do, because I write a lot about stuff that's weird news, I'll send them some relevant news articles that'll back up like some of the stuff that's in the script, and say, hey, look, did you see this? This was just in the news, whatever, just so it's not just you saying, hey, have you read it yet? Have you read it yet? Have you read it yet? Just keep providing some value added with each email.
Is it okay to maybe, if you wait a little bit longer, say you waited a month, would you then call or email them and pitch them something new, or should you sort of wait till you hear something about the first one?
I would wait.
I'd wait.
I would wait.
Yeah.
Just can I say
don't
something?
Bombard them.
Please don't. Please.
It depends. Like if you have a good relationship with them, there's no problem in pitching something new. But if you don't know them, then definitely not.
Okay.
I guess my take is on it. It's like, don't dilute your own market. It's like, wait till they turn down the first script before you start pitching them the second one. Because you don't want, they might have bought that first one and you just pitched them this idea that they're like, oh, I like that better than that other, so I would wait until you get a rejection first. That's just
cool. Now, what about if you don't get that rejection? Heidi?
Oh, like you never hear from them?
Yes, you never hear from them.
Again, it's a cycle. It's every 2 or 3 weeks. Throw a little snippet out there. If it gets desperate, here's what I do. I can't lie. If it gets if I call like 5, 6 times, so no, that's 15 weeks now. That's almost 4 months. So I've given them time. Okay. I would just say, look, someone else is about to read this, or someone else is interested in it.
Which they probably are.
Word. I just want a word, like, what's the status of this script, because it's so that I'm going. That's all. I mean, these are products, so you can't just let your product just lie on someone. for months after months after months.
Well, and you don't send it out to just one person. You keep pitching it. Just because someone's got it doesn't mean you can't keep pitching
done,
it.
right?
Yeah. So that's a good way to just get out there with someone new. Do your research, right?
Right.
Yep.
Cool.
And I just can I tie this up real quick? Promise.
Yes.
Guys, real quick. Just to show you that this is what really happens. I was at Starbucks, saw a guy reading a script. I said, "Oh, you're a writer?" Like, "No, I'm a producer." Boom, we exchanged cards. That was almost 2 years ago. Every 2 or 3 months, I just send them, "Hey," he already liked one of my scripts, so he's like, "Yeah, send me the script." But our mandate is already full, slate's full. Da, 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 da. So I keep watching. I'm watching a movie the other day, and it was a great movie. I can't remember the name of it. But he was the executive producer of it. I was like,
oh.
So not only did he switch companies, he moved up.
He's a good guy to know.
And just like you guys just said, "Hey, I just saw your movie, man. Congratulations." Da 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 da. He's like, "Hey, man, I remember you. I know, don't worry, it's okay. Look, our slate's full, but I promise you, man, the next time you hit me back, we can talk." Bam.
Great. Yes. So be professional. Be professional. Be friend and persistent. But they'll remember you for the good reasons.
Exactly.
Not creepy.
Yeah. Don't stalk them. They don't like stalking.
Yeah.
Who does?
Who does like a stalker?
Who does? Well, we've come to the end of another episode. You are so talented.
Wow.
I would like you guys to sign off by giving us a catchphrase or just a screenwriting motto. Eric?
Figures you always come to me first with these things.
Do you want me to move on? You can say pass.
All right, pass and come back.
All right, Heidi, you're up next.
I'm going to read.
It's stalling. I'm going to shake my computer. Woo! All right. I don't know why she froze.
We'll never know the words of wisdom that Heidi
It was valuable.
It was so deep. It was so
He'll
deep.
come back. He'll come back. Margie, how about you?
I've got a quote from Muhammad Ali. "Don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion."
Oh, good. Good. I like that. Nicole?
When in doubt, write, and write again.
I like that one. Never stop writing. Eric, it's your turn.
I know. No. Write what you wish you could do.
Ooh,
Like that.
seriously. Well, I'll try Heidi again, but I think she's totally gone. All right, sorry, Heidi. Sorry, Heidi. I know it was something like "right on." That's nice. Keep writing, everybody. Well, mine's "right on." Well, I had a Field of Dreams takeoff, but I'm afraid, have I done that one already? If you write it, they will come. I don't know. I feel like that's very familiar sounding. If it's a repeat, I'm very sorry. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for giving us your time and your insight. We will be right back with another episode of Screenwriters Beat.
Beauty.